All right. Thank you for listening to Remake Rewind, the podcast where we decide if remakes or reboots should have happened. As always, I'm Mike. And with me, I have my two mediocre co-hosts. I've got David, a.k.a. Double D. What up?
What up, Mike? Thanks for the praise.
Hey, you know what? If you asked me 6 months ago, mediocre would have been a compliment.
I still take it as a compliment.
So, you're doing better. Mediocre 6 months ago would have been a lie, actually. I'm sorry. Let me clarify that.
Well,
And then,
it still would have been a compliment.
And then we've got Alex. What's up, Alex?
I feel mediocre.
Well, Alex, you're mediocre at best.
In your top form.
You're in top form. And I've only really seen like 1 or 2 episodes of you at top form.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I mean, someday you guys will get to my level.
One day. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe when I grow up.
I do 2 podcasts and I do editing and everything. So I mean,
You're pretty awesome,
I
Mike.
perfected the game, bro.
Bro.
I specifically do B sounds. I'm trying to find ways not to go P sounds, so I don't go pop. Like
I love the
Double D.
pop sounds. No,
Yeah,
pop.
there was like a 3-episode area where you were just doing every P word you could get, so you would just get it.
Yeah.
It was very
I
frustrating.
love the P.
All right. So now that I'm done chastising you guys and just being an all-around dick, why don't you guys tell me what we're covering this week?
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book. Motherfucking Jungle Book.
Mowgli. We didn't do Mowgli because you said fuck Mowgli, if I remember correctly there.
That is correct.
So we did Jungle Book from 1967 and the Jungle Book from 2016.
So this series is interesting because Disney has made a ton of Jungle Book movies.
Yeah, I was looking for these movies and I was a little confused. I mean, I knew which one was which, but there were so many of them.
Yeah, so there's the 1967, and there were other versions not made by Disney because this movie or this story is in I almost said eminent domain, which is property.
Public domain.
There is no copyright for this. This is open for anybody to use. So there are other versions, but Disney had the 1967 animated feature. Then there was like a live action one in like 1994 and 1995. And then in 1998, there was another live action one called like The Story of Mowgli or something like that. And then there was the animated sequel in like 98, 99. And then this one with the photorealistic one from Jon Favreau. And now there's a Mowgli one that was competing. And apparently the Mowgli one that's on Netflix was like in production before the Jon Favreau one, but they didn't have as much money and it took them a lot longer to get this stuff done, so they came to market later and nobody wanted to see it, so it ended up on Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah. Apparently that one, like, it's a little darker and a little scarier and closer to the source, but also don't go against Disney. Come on, you're gonna lose.
I mean, it's Netflix, but I mean,
it wasn't originally a Netflix movie. It was going to go to theaters. And
it went straight to Netflix.
Yeah. Did you ask a question, Double D?
I was going to, and then I rescinded my question.
Oh, well, go ahead and unrescind your question.
Did you actually watch that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, then we're not going to talk about it.
No. I wanted to, like, when I first saw the trailer for it, I thought it sounded interesting. Andy Serkis, I really like what he does, generally. And he, like, directed it.
It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, like...
Oh, you watched it?
It was very different from these movies, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Does it also have like an A-cast list of people too?
It has some good voice actors, and they're not at the caliber of the Disney one.
No, not like this one.
Oh.
But it has people you've
2016.
heard of. Yeah. All right, well, let's just go talk about this movie, the 1967. Who's going to
Jungle Book,
synopsisize
1967. It? I got it for us. Disney animation inspired by Rudyard Kipling's Mowgli story. Mowgli is a boy who has been raised by wolves in the Indian jungle. When the wolves hear that the fierce tiger Shere Khan is nearby, they decide to send Mowgli to the local man village. On his way to the village, Mowgli meets many animal characters in this musical tale. When Shere Khan learns of Mowgli's presence, he tracks him down.
Yeah.
By Rob Hartill.
So, I'm just going to say, like, right off the bat, this movie is a very fun movie, and it's it's very, very brisk. It's like 80 minutes, or not even. I think it's like an hour and 18 minutes. Very short.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. Easy movie to watch. And it's funny, and it's quick, and I really like it, and
Yeah.
it was a fun to watch. What do you?
Me
guys
and
think
Alex
about this
were talking about it a little bit yesterday, and we were saying there's not a lot of talk about this movie. I mean, it is, like you said, it's pretty fun, but that's like all it is. It's an old Disney movie.
Right.
It's
It's
So,
very
fun and
straightforward. Yeah.
There's more to talk about, honestly, with like the production stuff than the plot. Like I have a few things I want to kind of talk about because this one is pretty different from the 2016 version, even though they're based off the same source material. They're specifically based off this version. Like the 2016 is this version, just an updated version. So, basically, the plot, like Double D said, is they find a kid and it's raised by wolves, and he just gets into all kinds of hijinks. And I have a couple questions about this upbringing, and I don't know if you guys can answer them, but I'm going to present them to you. Maybe
I bet you I can't. I bet you I have more questions.
well, maybe between the three of us, we'll form some sort of brain trust and figure this out.
Maybe a brainchild.
No, I would never have a brainchild with you. I'm not willing to accept that responsibility with you.
Just because I'm mediocre.
At best. Oh wait, no, that's
No.
Alex.
Yeah, come on. I'm improvement.
You're pretty solidly mediocre.
Yeah, solid. Especially during those synopsis-I.
Oh man, well you might be a little below mediocre on that, but if you average everything else out, it brings your.
Wait, you don't like when I read my synopsis?
That's fine.
My plot summaries?
It's fine.
I'm kind of sad. I took a lot of pride in that.
I mean, normally you do pretty good. This one you had a few weird, awkward pauses.
It's Alex's fault. He laughed at me.
And then I'm gonna have to edit out.
I was imagining I was being tucked in by David. He's reading me a story.
That's weird.
Just like the other. Wait a minute.
Are you older than David?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
He's like a year younger than me.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not as weird as I thought. For some reason, I thought Alex was older.
You're making it weird.
All right. So, a couple questions right off the bat. So, it opens up with, some voiceover from Bagheera, who is the panther. And he's like, yeah, I found this kid, and I was going to leave the kid, but then I heard it cry, and I was like, man, I probably shouldn't leave this kid. So I'm going to bring him to, a mother, because he needs a mother. There's only one mother that I know. And he just brings a baby basket and puts it outside of a wolf cave, right?
Yep.
What if the wolves just ate him?
That's what I was expecting to happen.
I mean, that's weird to expect it in a Disney cartoon.
I mean,
in
never mind.
real life, yeah. These wolves would be like, oh, shit, free breakfast.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially, because the pups found him first, right?
Possibly.
I don't think the pups would have.
I was
pups
very,
probably
very
wouldn't have eaten the
tired
baby.
watching both these movies.
And he was crying really loud.
Yeah, he was crying really loud. They were so instinctively, the reason that we find crying so annoying is we want to stop kids from crying because back, when we were still hunter-gatherers.
We gonna die.
We're going to die because that kid would draw attention to us. So, that is the worst thing is, crying will attract a predator, and those wolves are going to get a nice snack. They probably won't feed a wolf pack, but, they'll each get a little nibble.
I mean, they were puppies. I think they could have,
it might have sustained a couple of the pups. But, the parents might want a little snack. Just a little nibble.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But they can hunt for themselves.
Right. So the next thing that I have is, so they find out that Shere Khan's coming back, and he's like, I'm going to kill this child. I don't want this kid here. He's going to become a man, and man's dangerous, so, I'm going to kill the kid. So the wolves have this, meeting, and they're like, yeah, we gotta get rid of this kid, right? And the next day, he's just out with Bagheera, leaving. They don't even let him say goodbye to his mom.
Nope.
Or the wolf.
We don't care about man
He doesn't
cubs.
say goodbye to anybody.
Did the mom even talk in this movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think they even named her in this movie.
No. So, yeah, they just leave. I don't think they named a lot of the animals. Really only the ones that have huge speakers, so King Louie, the Ka, the snake. That's really, and then I think the
Colonel
elephants have
Hathy.
names. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just leave, and I'm thinking, okay, so Shere Khan says he's going to come back, and he will kill anybody who protects the kid. But there's 20 wolves just at that meeting, and that's not even the females. Those are just the male wolves, right?
Yep.
I find it hard to believe that 20 wolves can't kill one tiger.
Yeah, I also find that hard to believe. I definitely think.
And
why
the
is there only
panther.
one tiger?
Right. Well, tigers are territorial, so I'm okay with that. But the thing is, when you look at this version, just to kind of bring up the 2016 one a little bit, that Shere Khan is fucking huge. That is a yoked tiger, And tigers are
Frightening.
big and powerful. Like, I get
Frightening
it. Tigers
tiger.
are super big. So, yeah, this 2016 one is huge. I can buy that a little bit. But this animated tiger doesn't look that big for a tiger. Like, he doesn't look that much bigger than the panther.
He's kind of lanky.
Yeah. I feel like the panther and some wolves could have easily taken on this year con.
Mike, look how they fight. Like, Baloo was just holding on to a tail the whole time.
Yeah, he
they're
didn't
not-
even actually fight him.
Yeah, later on. What actually happened? Because Baloo, they thought Baloo was dead. Did he like eventually get swiped at by Shere
Yeah,
Khan?
he's
I
just
didn't
like
see.
ground and pound. The tiger was on top of him,
Oh,
just slashing away.
How did Baloo lose?
I
a
don't
bear.
know.
I feel like
mean,
Baloo should have won in both of these
I
movies.
I don't know, especially the 2016 because that Baloo's huge. I mean, this Baloo is big. I don't know enough about the animals of India. This is supposed to take place in like India. I don't know what kind of bears they actually have there, and if
It's a
they're
sloth bear.
a sloth bear. See, I don't know how big a sloth bear is in real life, so
I mean, it looked big.
I'm gonna do a quick Google search.
Google it.
Google.
Sloth bear.
Turns out just a type of sloth.
No, they're not that
Just a
big.
very large sloth.
They're kind of poofy in the face. They've got floppy ears. They're kind of cute.
like a dog.
Yeah, they've got like fluffy ears and a fluffy they're kind of cute. You guys should Google them.
All right, give me 1 second.
I'm looking up sloth bear on Wikipedia to see how big they is.
This guy would definitely sing a song.
Oh, he's definitely enjoying the bare necessities.
These don't look very frightening, though.
No,
No.
They grow up to 6 feet in length, and males can weigh up to 310 pounds.
yeah, that's not very big. Okay, yeah, that's not very
Okay.
big.
So he could have got eaten by
Yeah,
a tiger.
no, I think a tiger would definitely take on a sloth bear.
I
Okay.
agree in this, but that did not look like a sloth bear in the new one.
No, Baloo's huge.
Yeah.
Baloo is like the voice is the same bear like design except just a different color as the bear in the Robin Hood movie. In fact, they actually the Robin Hood movie came out just before this movie, a few years prior, and they actually a few years later, and they actually reused a lot of the animation from this movie in the Robin Hood movie. And Disney
That's
was famous for
interesting.
that. So they did like Aristocats and the Dancing Fox in like Maid Marian also reused footage, which also used footage from Snow White, where they'll just they'll literally draw over frames from old movies, so they don't have to completely reanimate like dance sequences and stuff like that.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but this
Though
movie
it
was
does
in that.
seem cheap.
Well, I mean, it is cheap. I mean, hand animation takes forever.
Yeah,
And then,
I can see
Like
it.
this back in this era, like they kept using the same voice actor. So like the guy who voices Baloo was in several Disney movies. So I know he was in at least this and the he was Little John and Robin Hood, and I know he's done more, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. And then you had the Kaa, the snake, was voiced by the same guy who does Winnie the Pooh and a bunch of other characters in other movies. And that
Sterling Holloway.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also had like Kaa is basically the same design, but just drawn slightly longer than the snake in Robin Hood as well, and the same voice, which is kind of funny. So they reuse a lot of stuff to make it easy, and I'm sure that's a part of why Disney was so successful. Is that all these movies are instantly recognizable and feel comfortable if you've seen another Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it
Certainly.
definitely was a Disney movie. Just fun and games.
Yep. So I did like the elephants. I thought that whole scene was fun.
I thought that was weird that they were all military-like.
I
I mean, I get it. They're
get it.
the jungle patrol.
Right. Well, I just liked the whole like an elephant never forgets, and like, you forgot our son,
Did you
You
forget something?
and then it's like, you forgot to say halt, and then like all the elephants run into each other because they're too stupid to stop because
Yeah, they weren't very smart.
no. So I don't know exactly what happened at this part, but there's a point where like Bagheera decides to be like a bitch and just abandon Mowgli because like he falls in the water. Like, what happened there?
Oh yeah, because he made him fall in the water, and then he tried to get out of the water, and then he hit his head on the log.
But
and
how
then
did
was fed up
how did he
with,
make him fall in the water?
Oh, because he was holding on to that tree stump, and then he was trying to pull Mowgli off the tree stump, and then he like slipped
Got
and like
it.
fell into the.
So
the
he was
river.
just uncoordinated.
Yeah. Well, it's also Mowgli's fault for not listening to Bagheera.
I suppose, but he's a child.
Yes. Man cub.
Man cub. Man bear pig.
Man bear pig.
So yeah, he ends up finding Baloo, and like Mowgli smacks Baloo in the face when they first meet, which is a little strange. And then Baloo just laughs and says Mowgli needs help. He's going to teach him how to fight. And then like he starts teaching him how to roar. And then Bagheera freaks out and comes running, calls Baloo a bum. But this is what really confused me is at the beginning of the movie when they're having like the Council of the Wolves and they're like, hey, we're going to get rid of this kid because, you know, honestly, we've been trying to get rid of him for a while, but this whole Shere Khan thing is a great excuse to do it. They didn't actually say that, but I feel like that's got to be the reason they're getting rid of him.
That's what they had in the conference there.
Right. So Shere Khan said, or not Shere Khan, Bagheera was like, Shere Khan's coming. I found the kid. I will take responsibility and I'll get him to the man village. I'm sure Baloo will help. He specifically says that Baloo will probably help. But when they at the beginning of the movie, he says Baloo will help. But then by the time they find Baloo, he's just like, he's a bum and there's no way he can help. And
at all.
I don't.
And then Baloo instantly is like, I don't want Mowgli to go to the man village because then he'll be a man. And like Baloo wants to raise Mowgli and says that he can, you know, he can protect him from Shere Khan.
Oh yeah, he liked the cut of his jib.
Yeah. So then they have like the bare necessity song, and you know, there's a little point where like Mowgli can't quite do what Baloo can do. Like he squeezes a banana too hard and it goes flying in the air and hits him in the face, and he's trying to eat ants and he can't do it. But I really liked this Mowgli overall, where he really did try to fit in with the animals. Like when he was even with the elephants, he starts trying to march like the elephant, and he just like gets all lanky and moves his arms about, trying to match their march. You know, I really like that. And then
I'm glad you like that, Mike.
You know what? Fuck you, man.
I'm just being happy for you.
Don't patronize me, okay?
I'm just being happy.
The only way I want to be patronized is on patreon.com/MDXpods. So, I have another question about Mowgli. Maybe you guys can understand.
Nope.
Where did they get his diaper?
Well, in the new one, he was wearing it the whole time.
Well, in the new one, it was like a whole giant set of shorts. And then, you know, as he grew bigger, then it just became like a little diaper.
Yeah.
But still, there's no way that diaper would last that long in the jungle.
Well, there's no way that child would last that long in the jungle.
I mean, if it's protected by wolves and a panther, maybe.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have died of like sepsis when he like, you know, cut himself on something.
Nah.
Yeah, right. If he was licked by the wolves.
You played sports, right, Double D?
Yeah.
Didn't your coaches ever just say, hey, rub some dirt in it, you'll be all right?
Nope.
Well, your coaches suck. That is what coaches are supposed to say.
I'm alive. Most of mine said, don't rub it.
Wait, what?
Like in baseball, if you got hit by a baseball, you're not supposed to rub it.
Okay.
Why not?
Because then you look like a bitch.
You are supposed to rub it. That gets blood flow going to it, so you're not going to bruise as much.
Don't rub it.
That's stupid. Your coaches are definitely stupid.
Whatever. Other baseball players out there know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, other baseball players are stupid.
Hey, that's a large demographic.
Yep. I'm just going to piss it. America's pastime.
Don't rub it.
Rub it. Rub it. When you rub your fire, man, it spits in your eye.
Oh, God.
God.
Come on, this is a Disney movie, Mike.
Oh, wait, I was talking about South Park. Shit.
Anyway.
So, ultimately, like, they get kidnapped. Like, Mowgli gets kidnapped by monkeys, and King Louie comes about, and he's like, ooh, I want to be like you. Ooh.
I don't know why I hated King Louie so much, just right off the bat.
You didn't like him?
At all.
So, yeah, he wants to get fire, and Mowgli's like, I don't fucking have fire, you stupid.
What is fire?
I
can't give you fire.
And then I'm confused by this. So, like, Baloo shows up wearing, like, a coconut as, like, to make himself look like
He's supposed to be a monkey.
A monkey. And then they just kind of go.
He gets pat on the back and it all falls off.
Right. And they end up, like, just running away, right?
Yep.
So that King Louie character is not from the source material, like, at all. Walt Disney actually was kind of like, hey, what if we had this, like, monkey king, dude? That could be kind of cool. And this, like, like they put it in because this was like the last movie that Walt Disney did before he died. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. No. That is sorry. I'm getting my Disney facts confused because around the same time I was watching these movies, I was also watching The Rescuers for
Come on, Mike,
Ruin My
get
Childhood.
it straight.
So it's very hard to do this. But no, this is the first movie that actually came out after Walt Disney died, and it was the last movie that he had any kind of personal involvement in. And like all the executives and everybody at Disney were really worried that Walt Disney being dead would affect the box office for this movie, but no, it was a hit. It was good. People are
Disney's still going strong.
yeah. I mean, he's not really dead. He's frozen.
Well, it's weird.
Yep.
I mean, I guess if I was rich, I'd probably.
You know what
try
his
to stay
last words
frozen.
were, right?
No.
Kurt Russell. Like, no joke. Those were his last words.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Well, Kurt Russell was a child star and did a ton of Disney movies as a child.
Maybe he knew how great Kurt Russell was going to be.
I'm pretty sure he just diddled Kurt Russell.
Well, maybe that made Kurt Russell what he is today.
Diddle.
That's not okay to say. So what you're saying is it's okay to diddle someone to greatness.
I said no such thing. All
That's
I
what it
said
sounded like.
was Kurt Russell's been through a lot, and it shows.
Maybe that's why he had some
It shows.
commitment issues and won't actually marry Goldie Hawn. Maybe this
Overboard.
set him back forever.
Forever. Good old Kurt Russell.
Good old Kurt.
Love that guy.
So, let's see. The other thing that I thought was, I'm just going to give you guys a couple of facts. Because like you guys said, there's not much to talk about. Let's just talk about the end, and then I'll give you a few facts. So, they ultimately, fight Shere Khan. And don't they
Wait, you
just...
forgot about the vultures.
Oh, I was gonna bring up the Vultures last. Those were based off the Beatles. Did you know that?
Yeah, seems
no.
like it.
Yeah, so originally the Beatles were gonna voice the Vultures, but then John Lennon's like, no.
No.
I
You
can't do a
wanna
good John
do?
Lennon. I'm not very good at voices, but yeah, basically the Beatles wanted to be in a Disney movie, so their manager reached out to Disney Studios and was like, "Hey, the Beatles. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. Biggest band in the world. Want to be in a Disney movie?" And Disney was like, "Oh, okay." So they designed these vultures with the weird bowl cuts. They even made one that looked exactly like George Harrison.
Yes.
And then John Lennon was like, "No."
They should have just made them Beatles.
Right. So no, they needed to be vultures, okay? Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
But yeah, they decided
They're
not to
great.
do it. So that's why they still had a Liverpool accent. And then they to make it more family friendly, they decided to make them a barber shop quartet when they actually sang.
It worked. I
Right.
liked it.
And then the vultures, between the vultures, Shere Khan, or the vultures, Bagheera and Baloo, they end up helping defeat Shere Khan. It was whatever. Nothing really
They just
happened
helped
in
him
that fight.
fly away. No. It was Baloo holding on to Shere Khan's tail.
And they just
running
pick
around.
up, and then the vultures just pick up Mowgli and just fly around with him.
And then a fire tree stops him.
Yeah, lightning
Ties
hits
it to
a tree.
his tail,
Yeah, lightning hits a tree, and then there's fire, and it scares Shere Khan.
and he runs away forever.
You're right. And so then they still bring Mowgli to the village, and he's like, "Man, I don't want to go." And then he sees a girl, and he's like, "Wait,
He immediately falls in love.
I want to tap that." And
Primal instinct.
his eyes get all weird, he looks a little stoned, and then he just goes, and then the girl's ready for it because she notices him, and then she walks away, and then she accidentally drops her water.
Baloo's like, hey, she did that on purpose.
Yeah. And the whole time Baloo's like, "Stop him, let's not make him go." And then Bagheera's like, "No, look, he's gonna get his dick wet. This is the right thing to do. Don't cock
He's
block him,
hooked.
all right?" And yeah,
Is he,
that's the end of the movie.
6?
I mean, he
Oh,
could-
that song though that she sings.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's I'm gonna be fuck, what is it? She's like, my kid's gonna go get the water while I'm gonna be cooking in the kitchen and stuff like that.
Yeah, super pro femme. But yeah, I mean, this kid basically decides to leave his whole family, his whole way of life, because he's into the very first girl he sees. And the same thing happens in Tarzan, so I guess it makes sense.
Same thing happens in real life.
Yep. But yeah,
I'd leave you for a girl, Mike.
I mean, you have a girl,
Exactly.
and I have a
So it's
girl, and we're
happened.
not links in any way other than this podcast now.
Okay, you're right.
So, and honestly, like 3 years ago, I kind of left you.
I know, you jerk.
Yep. Sorry.
All right, but I'm not.
But I'm not.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about on this one?
I just thought that the movie wasn't gonna end. I thought that was like the first fight between him and Shere Khan. I thought there was gonna be another one.
And we didn't even talk about Ka, the snake. Like, the snake has hypnotizing eyes
What a jerk!
and everything, and like he's gonna.
You can trust me.
You can trust me. He does this like weird thing where he can like do all these like loop-de-loops and have Mowgli just walk around on his back while he just keeps moving almost like an escalator. And then like the only reason Mowgli doesn't get killed is Baloo happens to stumble by and like grab his tail and yank him, and Ka's like, oh man, and then like leaves.
Yeah, Baloo came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you got super lucky.
And then same thing happens with Shere Khan too.
Yeah.
When Baloo comes out of nowhere, sneaks up in a plane. Like,
Or
it doesn't make sense.
Shere Khan like comes out of nowhere and then stops Ka from eating Mowgli.
Yeah. Very, very, very coincidental. All these coincidences in the movie, just lucky.
That's how the jungle works.
It's the law of the jungle, man. God doesn't have a plan.
It's part of the Jungle Book.
All right, Alex, get us set up for the 2016 one.
Hey,
Now,
the
Do
man. Oh my god,
are you gonna do it?
I'm doing it.
Oh my God, stop talking about doing it. Just do it.
Let him do it. Let him do it, Mike.
Hey,
The-
no.
The man cub Mowgli flees the jungle after a threat from the tiger Shere Khan, guided by
Khan?
Big Bagheera the panther and bear Baloo. Mowgli embarks on a journey of self-discovery. Till he also meets creatures who don't have his best interests at heart. That's from Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Woolley.
Chris Woolley.
Woolley Woolley.
Wooly Wooly.
Wooly Wooly. So this one, I'm going to steal one of Double D's catchphrases on this one. This one's like the unabridged version of the original one.
I like this one. I mean, it had a lot more explanation to it, kind of. And I really like that he was a self-aware man cub.
Well, and so the thing that I'm just going to say this to all the haters out there who are like hating on the Lion King remake that's coming out this year and the Aladdin one. So a lot of people are pissed that the Lion King movie is getting remade. Like, a lot of people are pissed.
I'm not. I'm very happy.
And I just
that
don't...
I'm going to cry again in theaters.
I don't get it because, like, watching this one and like, Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, they're all, while they're remakes of the cartoon, they all add significant amounts of other stuff. Like, if you look at Beauty and the Beast, they completely changed the Beast character and made him, like, an intellectual. They added a couple songs. They added, like, a magic mirror. They made the dad not a complete buffoon. They made LeFou gay. And we're going to talk about the differences in this one coming up. And you look at Cinderella, they had a lot more to do with, like, the prince. Like, they're drastically different movies. Like, yeah, the skeleton and the framing, like, maybe the musculature are pretty much the same. But, like, the details are not the same. So, all you haters, quit hating. Because the Lion King's going to be rad.
I think so, too.
Good. What do you think, Alex? 1 second. Helga, stop it. I'll be right back. My cat. I need to take something from my cat. It's being really loud. Don't stop recording.
Don't stop recording. What the hell is that? You know why this movie was great? Christopher Walken. Also, Russell Peters was Rocky the Rhino. Yeah.
Are you bitches talking shit about me?
No, unless you're Russell Peters.
Oh, no. Yeah, Russell Peters voices somebody in this one.
Rocky the Rhino.
Rocky. I don't remember seeing a rhino.
Well, we did. 2 rhinos.
Rhinoceri? Rhini?
Rhinos.
So, this movie, I guess since you're talking about the voice cast, all-star cast, super all-star cast. You had Idris Elba playing Shere Khan, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera. You had Lupita Nyong'o as Raksha, which is the wolf mom.
You know who else you had?
Who?
Christopher fucking Walken.
Christopher Walken as Louis was spectacular.
Yeah,
he was
great.
so good. You had Giancarlo Esposito. How do you say his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, he, of course, famous from Breaking Bad. He was Aquila the Wolf, Scarlett Johansson as Ka the Snake. And that was a big deal because out of the 50 plus, I don't think there's 50, but of all the different versions of the Jungle Book,
They're all male snakes.
they're all male snakes. But this one is voiced by the sultry ScarJo.
ScarJo. I think we've talked about that before. You and her go, you're on a first name basis.
Yep, me and ScarJo. Scarlett. Sometimes I call her Johan.
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 That's kind of weird. Just reminds me of the Zohan.
Yeah, but you don't mess with the Zohan.
You don't mess with the Zohan.
You don't mess with the Johan.
I wouldn't mess with Ka.
Nah, that's a big snake.
That's very scary.
Very big snake. And then, of course, you had Bill Murray. Bill motherfucking Murray is Baloo.
Yeah, Baloo.
Baloo. And then Gary Shandling voiced a pretty funny, porcupine.
These quills get stuck on everything.
Well, I liked how it's so the big thing about this movie is, the jungle's been in a drought. And so they have, this water piece, or Peace Rock. And if you're at the Peace Rock, you can't eat anybody because drinking comes before eating, and everybody gets a chance to at least drink water, right? So, Shere Khan's I'm going to come back. When he finally shows up, he's like, I'm going to come back once the water's gone because the rain's coming. This rock's going to go bye-bye. And once the water's plentiful, then the peace treaty goes away. So I'm going to, fuck some shit up. So when they're, showing the Peace Rock in the water, there's this porcupine going around. And he sees, a rock. He's like, oh, that's my rock. That's my rock. And then he sees the stick. Oh, that's my stick. And then somebody else goes to pick up the stick. And he's like, that's my stick. And everything. That's Gary Shandling. And this was the last movie he ever did before he died.
Ouch.
In fact, he died, a month before this premiered. Both Jungle Book movies, big ones, somebody died just before they came out.
That's a interesting fact. I don't know.
Jungle Book curse. Jungle Book curse.
Oh, God.
And it's the whoever shows up on the Madden cover. Curse.
The Jungle Book curse.
Yeah.
It's like the Madden curse.
Or it's the Drake
Except
curse.
you die.
Yeah, or the Drake curse if you were apparently if whatever team Drake supports
They
loses the Super Bowl.
It's true.
Fuck Drake. Honestly,
You
I
just
can't
attack
stand-
everyone on this podcast.
You know what? Drake's a pervert, okay?
Yeah, so?
He's the next R. Kelly. And I don't have a problem saying it. He fucking texts that girl from Stranger Things because he's grooming her. He's gonna wait until
11.
she's 18 and bang her. It's fucking weird.
That is pretty weird.
It's super weird. And I will fight anybody who says it's not weird.
That's not weird.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you, Double D.
Let's go fight. Come on, take it outside.
I've noticed that Alex is very quiet on this.
It's still
Do I have to
morning
fight
time.
you, Alex?
Alex, you could totally take Mike.
No, he couldn't.
You should disagree.
I'm scrappy. I'm scrappy, dude. I've never lost a fight.
How many fights have you been in?
I've been in a few. I've been in a few scuffles, 3 or
Have
4.
you
in so.
fought Hagrid?
My cat?
Yeah. I feel like your cat will whoop your ass.
No, my Hagrid's a little bitch cat. Helga, my other cat's a little bit gnarlier. She's
Just a little bit.
She's significantly smaller than Hagrid and whoops on him every day.
Nice.
She's scrappy as fuck. And she's really fast, and her
Scrappy as
claws are
fuck.
sharp as hell.
Well, I'm sorry, Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid's a little bitch cat,
Damn, that's rude.
but I love him. He's so cute. He's fucking huge. He's 15 pounds. And he's only 2 years old. He's huge. He's a good boy. Where are you, Hagrid? You're a good boy. Anyway, let's get back into this movie.
Yeah.
Jackasses
No more
making all
deaths
these-
and fights and stuff.
These weird tangents. So, like you said, Double D, I think you said before I went on this tangent that this version of the man cub has a little bit of authority, and he decides to leave because the wolves were like, maybe we get rid of him. And they're like, no, wait, he's part of the pack, and they're like, yeah, but Shere Khan's scary, and
Wait. Can we talk about how fucking cute those fucking wolf puppies were?
yeah, they're pretty cute.
They were hella cute.
Yeah,
Oh my
they're
God, I
pretty
want
cute.
one. I want one. I want
Uh,
an animated wolf pup in my house.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. So actually, before we get into this part, I did like how the opening of the movie, you just see a POV shot of running through the jungle, and then it pans out, and you see Mowgli just running on tree trunks and swinging and diving and rolling. And I'm like, yeah, this kid can move. And then Bagheera's like chasing him. He's like, oh shit, he's getting chased by a panther. If I've never seen a Jungle Book movie, I'd think he's gonna get killed.
Die.
But no, it's like his little dad panther.
Yeah, it's a little dad panther.
This is Dad Panther. Maybe Uncle.
Bagheera's pretty handsome, to be honest.
Yeah, and panthers are handsome animals. Just like
Yeah, you're right.
Hagrid. Hagrid's a really handsome cat. I'm going to post a picture of him on Instagram and be like, look how cute this cat is. Anyway.
We love you, Hagrid.
He ends up like jumping on this branch that falls down. And Bagheera's like, you idiot.
It's a dead tree.
That's a dead tree. And he's like, I almost got away. And he goes, yeah, I almost got away. And then I immediately think... And then Bagheera kind of was like, well, you know, you didn't get away. And I immediately thought of, like, Fast and the Furious, like, I almost beat you. You never had me. Whether you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. I immediately thought of Vin Diesel.
Fast and Furious Jungle Book Edition.
Yeah. I like Fast
Jungle
and Furious.
races.
So, yeah, this kid decides to leave on his own. And initially, I'm like, you know, that's a very mature decision to make. What a mature young man. But then immediately he's walking with Bagheera and he's like, what if I go hang out with this group of animals? Or what if I go hang out with this group of animals? It's like,
I'm not scared of a tiger.
Right. If you're going to hang out with a group of animals at threat of tiger, the wolves are probably the safest ones to hang out with. Like, they're the ones who are more likely to defend themselves. Like, he talks about going to hang out with, like, the turtles and, like, all the rhino, like all these different animals. Like, come on, no,
The wolves, for sure.
right?
The wolves.
So,
But can we talk about how fucking easily
Yeah.
Aquila died way too easily?
yeah, he really did. Like, he's like, hey,
Just thrown off the
yeah. So
fucking
basically,
cliff.
what ended up happening is he leaves, and then like the Shakira
Khan. Oh, God. These paws don't lie, dog.
Oh man, whenever, wherever, I'm gonna kill that man cub. So yeah, Shere Khan's like shows up and he's like, "Hey, where's the man meat? I'm gonna eat that man meat."
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And
You guys, we had a deal.
Aquila's like, "I got rid of him," and you're like, "No, you were supposed to let me eat him." And he's like, "No, bro," and then he just throws him off a cliff.
He was about to leave, and then he turns around and throws him off.
Yeah,
the cliff.
and then like.
How rude.
He's like, I own you wolves now. And then like he like later on is like raising the pups. Like he's like telling them a story about life and how, you know,
It's because he's the alpha now.
yeah. Is he gonna
He
fuck
took
that
that
wolf?
position.
Interspecies erotica?
I don't know if that would work.
I mean, they wouldn't like sire more wolf pups or like wolf tiger hybrids, Weigers.
Why not?
Whoa.
Woogers.
So
Woogers.
anyway, like he goes into this like field and Bagheera's like, "Hey, shut the fuck up." And then like Shere Khan just attacks out of nowhere. And like Bagheera holds his own against him for quite a while. And they end up creating a stampede and Mowgli gets away on the stampede, which was pretty cool. And then
How did he not get, trampled?
because he got on top of a water buffalo.
But he was just like dodging them at first.
Yeah, you know what? His years of living in the jungle, being on 2 feet, being a human, more adaptable, he fucking
Good job, man cub.
did it. And,
Thanks, water buffalo.
Yeah. So what I was confused about is at this point he finds Ka, right? And Ka was like, "Hey, dumbass. You're a dumbass." And like this is what happened. Like your dad got killed by Shere Khan, but burned him with fire. And fire's really bad. Like you shouldn't fuck with fire, just so you know. Like if you ever have fire, like don't fuck with it. Yeah, red flower. And what happened? Like I actually fell asleep and had to like start the movie again the next day because I've been very tired this week. I don't remember what happened with Ka. Like how did he get away from her? Baloo just showed up. Oh, good on you, Baloo. So this Baloo's big, voiced by Bill Murray. And this Baloo is kind of a dick, but a lovable dick. Like a dick that you just love. Right. And like he goes, "Yeah, there's some you're going to go up there and get that honey." He goes, wait, do those things sting? No, they don't sting. And, you know, and we didn't really bring this up, so I'm going to go back to the beginning just a little bit. When they're at the water hole place, he uses like a shell of some sort as like a cup, and like all the animals are like, what the fuck? And Bagheera like chastises, like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just...
No tricks.
It's easier this way. No tricks. And he goes, but it's way easier, and I don't have to get my mouth next to all these dirty fucking animals.
I don't think he said that.
And Bagheera's like, listen here, bitch. You're gonna fucking drink like a wolf, not like a man, okay? You're not gonna be like Sam Worthington in Clash of the Titans. You're not gonna do it like a man, all right? So he has these little tricks because he's man, and man, what was that? We covered this before your time, and throughout the whole movie, Sam Worthington was like, "I'm gonna do it like a man. I don't care that I'm a god and have powers. I'm gonna do it like a man." 5'10".
Sure,
Can't be my action hero.
Mike and Sam Worthington had a verbal fight in that podcast.
Yeah,
It was mostly Mike though, because we don't have Sam Worthington.
It was pretty great though. That was a really good rant that I had.
It was definitely a rant.
No, it was really. No, this was way better than the Paul Walker rant. Like, this was good. I had like facts and figures. I've actually met Sam Worthington. And I was just like, go back to Australia, bitch. Make your fucking 4 Avatar movies and go back to the abyss. Thanks, James Cameron. Yep. You know what? I've done some reflecting, and Sam Worthington hasn't harmed anybody. But if he's not good in those next Avatar movies, fuck him.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them?
Yeah, like 3 or 4. So anyway, he goes and sets up this like whole rig. Like he like climbs the mountain and like starts knocking these like honeycombs down. He's getting stung all crazy. And he comes down and he's like, "Baloo, you son of a bitch! I got stung."
You said they didn't sting.
He said
it's
he's
the
like
females.
Oh, I thought
sting.
those were males from down here. Yeah, no, the females sting. But then he has like they set up. He goes and makes like armor out of like leaves, and he makes like a knife, and he goes and he's just fucking killing bees like crazy. And like they have this whole like bare necessities, like a simplified version of bare necessities. And he's like,
they
yeah,
sing most of the thing on while he's on his belly.
Yeah,
going
he's
down
like,
the river.
I'll raise you, kid. We'll be little buddies, and
I like being
you
a
can
bear.
ride me like a lovable dick that I am. And
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
yeah, I do like when
Come on,
like
Bill
just,
Murray.
yeah, just before they sing this song, he says something like he's humming bare necessities, and he goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm singing a song." "What's a song? You've never heard a song before?" And he goes, "Well, you cite the law of the jungle," and he does the thing like, "This is the law of the jungle. The strength of the wolf is the pack. The strength of the pack is the wolf. And as long as you don't fuck shit up, we're cool," kind of thing. Like,
You ain't gonna die.
you ain't gonna die. And he goes, "That's not a song. That's propaganda."
What's propaganda?
Right. So he ends up taking Mowgli to the village right away, and he's like, "Hey, look, here's the village. You know where it is now. Hang out with me. If you decide you don't like it, you can go whenever you want, you little buddy." And then he's just like, "No, I'm gonna stay here." And then it cuts back, and this is the part that I was talking about. Shere Khan goes to the wolves, and he's telling them about how like they're birds who trick other birds into raising their young, and it causes the original birds' kids to die. And he's basically like, "Hey, you little wolf kids, you guys are the birds that die because you raised some other bird's kid. That's Mowgli, if I'm not being clear, you bitches." And yeah, and then it goes back, and by the time it goes back, like I don't know how many days this movie spans, but like Mowgli has this like intricate elevator system designed for taking honey. It was pretty cool.
It was, like 10 minutes. He's actually incredibly smart.
Right. So like Bagheera shows up and he's mad that like Mowgli did all these things, and he's like, "Baloo's a liar. Jungle bears don't hibernate," because he's like, "I'm gonna stick with him because he needs all this honey to hibernate." He's like,
I
"They
take
don't
lots
hibernate,
of naps.
you son of a bitch." And then you hear like angry elephants, and Mowgli goes running to like take care of him, and he uses his tricks to save the baby elephant. And in this, the elephants are gods, which we didn't bring up at the beginning. So like there's a point in the beginning of the movie where they see all these elephants, and Bagheera's like, "Oh yeah, they created the rivers, and they created like mountains, and they created trees, and they're pretty cool. Like, don't fuck with elephants. The only thing they didn't create's man, so like they might not like you, so like just be cool, okay?" But yeah, he ends up saving a baby elephant, and the elephants are like, "Hey, that's tight. We're gonna remember this. Thanks, bro, for saving our baby elephant. Maybe
He just fell in a pit.
maybe man cubs aren't so bad after all."
Was that like a
That was
I don't even
unspoken.
know.
That was just,
No, I mean I get that, but the hole that the elephant fell in,
yeah. What about it?
how did they miss that?
It was a baby fucking stupid elephant. So the thing is, elephants never forget, but they need to encounter something first. Like all the adult elephants, are like, hey guys, don't forget, there's that hole there. But the baby elephant never seen the hole before, so it's just like I'm gonna keep going.
So he's got to fall in the hole to remember to not fall in the hole.
Exactly.
Got it.
So at this point, Bagheera's like, dude, that kid is way too fucking smart, and he's using tools. What if he starts using tools against other animals? He's gonna be fucking king of the jungle. You need to fucking tell him to leave. So Baloo's just like, hey kid, I was just using you, you fucking idiot kid. I don't fucking like you. You're not even friends. Get the fuck out of here. And Mowgli's just like,
Yeah, I never liked this version that you watched, Mike.
I'm paraphrasing, okay? You know, we don't have enough time to talk about everything here, so I'm just trying to simplify it and make it go faster.
Okay.
But you guys are
By
slowing down
adding
the whole
words.
podcast.
Okay, got it. The fuck out of here, kid.
Get the fuck out of here, you limp noodle. So then the monkeys end up same thing. Monkeys just end up taking him, and like I actually thought this scene was pretty gnarly because you just see them like throwing him, and like you see him go flying through branches and everything. And by the time he's done, it ends up by King Louie. He's fucking covered in scratches and claw marks, and
Yeah.
like they fuck up this
monkeys.
kid. Like this kid has scars already all over him, and like the scars, like at the beginning of the movie, he had a scar on each shoulder. One was shaped like an R, and like one was shaped like a K for the author of the original story. But by the end of the movie, he's just completely fucking covered in scars. Like this kid could be like
Would
the
have
Joker.
died from
Like,
sepsis.
you want to know how I got these scars? The jungle.
The Joker. Imagine the Joker said that. I got him in the jungle.
I was raised by wolves.
They tried to
Hey.
eat my face.
So this, if it was a monkey, they'd go for your fingers, your genitals, and then your face.
Monkeys are smart.
Yeah. It's true that me and Dustin, when we did Planet of the Apes, we talked about that. Yeah, monkeys are terrifying. Don't fight a monkey. Like Dustin and I were both like, he and I could be together, armed with like knives, and we would not be able to defeat a
Would
chimpanzee.
get destroyed.
We would get destroyed by one chimpanzee.
Definitely. Especially
So-
you, Mike.
No, I'm scrappy.
Oh, okay, because Dustin would go first.
Dustin would go first, but then I would fall shortly after.
Shortly. Very
It's
shortly.
very shortly after. If I'm going 1-on-1 with the chimpanzee, I'm definitely fucking 2-on-1. I might be able to like dodge. I might be able to like get
Mike's real quick, Alex.
get the monkey distracted by Dustin.
Oh, God. He's
Anyway.
a larger target.
Yep, larger target. Yep. He's got a
Mike's
bigger
real
brain.
scrappy and quick. Man, you're fighting a lot of things in this podcast, Mike.
You know what? I'm a good fighter. Okay, I almost used the puka shell
He's
necklace as a
scrappy.
weapon.
Oh, God.
So yeah, this King Louie is fucking huge.
Yeah.
So in this, he's not an orangutan. In the original, he's an orangutan.
Gigantopithecus.
But orangutans are not in India. So Disney fucked up. All right, in 1967, fucked up.
Well, Nizer is a grizzly bear.
It's not a grizzly bear.
It's not a sloth bear.
It's a big sloth bear.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't look like it at all.
No, it doesn't. But so they changed it into a Gigantopithecus.
Gigantopithecus.
Because that's an ancestor of gorillas that actually did look like, they think may have looked like orangutan, but actually did have a range that included India. So they wanted to make this movie more realistic, but also more fantastical by having a giant fucking ape. So
Well,
good on Jon
They
Favreau
did.
knowing his origins of species in India. He's good.
Good on Christopher Walken for being.
Oh,
King
he
Louie.
was so good. I love the way he sang the song. It was so good. And then he ends up getting killed by his own demise by like destroying things. I did love this scene. I laughed so hard throughout, so I thought the song was great. But then like Blue just shows up and he's like, "Hey, King Louie, you're fucking cool. Can I be like you?" Like he riffs off the whole like, "I want to be like you" to man. He's like, "I want to be like you. Can I be like one of your monkey people?" Yeah, you're pretty tight. And then like the whole time like he's like King Louie's like sees him and the monkeys keep climbing on him and he's just kind of like
He's just,
pushing
like,
them
shaking
off
them
and
off.
shaking them off, just talking, like not even acknowledging that they're there. Right. So then ultimately the Baloo's being used as a distraction. Bagheera gets Mowgli to like run, and they end up getting in a fight. So like King Louie ends up like chasing Mowgli through like the temple and ends up killing himself by collapsing the temple on him. But the whole time Bagheera and Baloo are just fighting monkeys, and they're just like coming at them at swarms, and they're just batting them like they're nothing. And there's points where they completely get covered and they just like shake off the animals. And I just couldn't help but think of that scene in Step Brothers where they're just fighting all the like fifth graders.
The fifth graders, yeah. Oh god.
And like there's a point where like Baloo tries to be like, this is stupid. He just tries to roar to scare them, and like the monkeys stop for like a second, and then they just swarm him, and he just shakes them off again. It was really great. Basically, they find King Louie told Mowgli about his dad wolf dying, and decides to like. Mowgli decides he's gonna go back and kill Shere Khan. So he goes to the man village, gets fire, creates a forest fire. And then all the animals are afraid of him. And then he ends up like throwing the torch in the water because Shere Khan's like, hey, you idiot. They're afraid of you now. And you're a dumb bitch, basically. Fucking burning down the fucking forest. Stupid fucking man. You're a man now, not a man cub. You're a man now. And we're going to fucking
throws that torch in the water and he's like, that's the dumbest thing you could have done.
You stupid bitch. You fucking did exactly what I wanted you to do. I'm going to kill you now. But then all the animals are like, wait a second. He's one tiger, and we're like a whole jungle of animals. Why don't we fight him? And then they like fight him for a little bit, but somehow Shere Khan just fucks everybody up. Everybody.
Yeah, Baloo totally should have killed him.
Baloo should have killed him. And like several times in this movie, Bagheera is like able to hold him back for quite a while. Like Bagheera should have been just like keeping it. Like between Bagheera and Baloo, they should have fucking killed him easily. But then what ends up happening is Mowgli goes into it, finds a dead tree, climbs into the dead tree, and sets up like a series of vines to support him so he can jump off the dead tree and swing when the tiger goes up in the dead tree and make the tiger fall into the fire. And
so he had the burn on his face and his eye, right? So
yeah.
Was he blind in that one eye?
Probably.
I really wish they had done something with that.
Like blinded him in the other eye?
No, I mean like blindsided him.
So like
no, I mean like it would have been easier for him to dodge to the blind side or something like that.
Yeah. Come to think of it, like how did he see all the wolves and stuff coming? He would have never known if they were coming from like his left side.
Nope.
This is. I can't see you, but I can feel you.
You have this one-eyed tiger ruling the jungle.
Yeah, this is dumb. We're just
that ruined the whole movie.
Yeah. So he ends up winning. He like kills the tiger, and like the elephants come. We're like, hey, remember when like the movie said that we were gods earlier? And everyone's like, yeah, we totally remember that. And he goes, they're like, cool. We just want to show you something cool. And they like gouge like all the ground, and they like make a dam, and they redirect the river, and it just puts out the forest fire.
Because they're gods.
Because they're gods.
God elephants.
And then like, I guess Mowgli becomes the pack leader of the wolves. Because he's like,
well, he was doing the same thing that Bagheera was doing in the first scene,
right? And he's like
so
training.
I don't think he was the pack leader. I think he was just training.
Training, I guess. What's weird is there's a point where Bagheera's like, Baloo says something along the lines of like, that kid's super smart and he's like super fucking tight, like he's really cool. And Bagheera's like, I know, I raised him. Did he? Because he gave him to the wolves. Is he like co-parenting? Like he has like visitation rights?
Sure, he was. Definitely.
Is he more like an uncle?
How often do panthers hang out with wolves?
Apparently a lot.
In this movie, because, you know, his child's there.
I guess. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the end of the movie. In this version, he stays with the apes. With the apes? He's not Tarzan. He stays with the animals. And, yeah. So he stays, and, like, he's happy.
Dumb.
Nope. Bros before hoes. Wolves before thing that rhymes with wolves.
No.
No. All right. You guys have anything else to say about either of these movies?
Should they have been remade?
I think this one was great. I think it was very entertaining, and we haven't even talked about the technical aspect of this movie. So a lot of people are like, it's weird. So this version of Lion King that's coming out there, like some people are calling it a live action remake, and people are like, there are no people, it's just CG. So now they're calling it a photorealistic remake. And so like this one's like a photorealistic remake, but there's a person in it. But it is spectacular how good this movie looks.
Yeah,
like there are very few scenes that look like green screen, but this was entirely green screen. And that kid, like acting by yourself is very hard to do, and this kid had nobody to act against. Like,
yeah, the kid looked really real too.
Well, I mean, the kid was real, you idiot. But I mean, like,
you said it was entirely green screen.
The background is entirely green screen. You don't green screen a person.
I would.
You idiot. No, but the thing that's interesting is like a lot of actors don't do well with like CGI stuff because they don't have something to actually act against. Like people need like that energy to riff off of it. And like this kid doesn't know what Baloo sounded like. He didn't know what Bagheera sounded like. He didn't know what Ka sounded like. He was just like there with a bunch of people, and apparently like Jon Favreau would wear like a green costume, and so he wouldn't be seen, and he would be there just so he'd have something. But this kid is phenomenal. He's such a good actor for having nobody to interact with.
I agree.
And yeah, and just like the special effects, like the forest looked real, and the animals looked really good. Like even though you can tell obviously when like they're talking that they're not real, like it didn't look. You know how a lot of times like Game of Thrones when Emilia Clarke is riding the dragon, it looks janky, like it looks stupid. In this, like when he's like riding the animals and the elephant, where he's riding Baloo, it doesn't look cheap. Like it looks really good. Like they did a really great job with the composition of this movie. Like I was very impressed with this. Like I was blown away by the special effects on this. Like, and I've seen this before, but I forgot how good it looked. So yeah, I'm glad they made this. I think it's to steal from Double D again, like the unabridged version, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it. What do you guys think?
I liked it too. I definitely thought there was a lot more to it, substance-wise.
Yeah, me too. What about you, Alex? All right, cool. So just a little bookkeeping. Our next couple episodes, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary of Remake Rewind. So we're going to do a little something special. So last year we did a clip show, but that was a pain in the ass to do, and I don't want to do it again. So we're going to do what I'm calling Remake Rewind Redo, because, you know, Double D came in about 6-7 months into the podcast, and then Alex came in just over a year into the podcast, year and a half or so. And, you know, there were some great movies that we covered before these ding-dongs joined the show, and they kind of wanted to go back and redo some stuff. So they each picked an episode that they would have loved to be in that they weren't, and we're going to do that. So over the next month, we're going to be redoing, what did you pick, Double D?
Judge Dredd,
motherfucker. And we're going to get special guest Neil Carson from Get to the Podcast is going to be on that. So we'll have all 3 hosts of Get to the Podcast on this show at some point. And then what did you pick, Alex? What are we going to be revisiting with you? The Fly. Jeff Goldblum. We're going to see Jeff Goldblum buns.
I hate Jeff Goldblum.
And we're also getting Diego from Get to the Podcast is going to come back again. He was on our Batman episode, so it's going to be pretty cool. And then we're going to try to get Dustin back again to talk about Point Break.
Yeah.
So really cool. I'm really excited to talk about some of these movies again. And yeah. So overall, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking out our podcast. Check out our other podcast, Ruin My Childhood, with me and Kat. We are also on YouTube now, so if you prefer to listen that way, or we're on the YouTubes, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at MDXpods. And if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/MDXpods and give us some money.
That's the only way you can patronize Mike.